We've been following the Boyd Tinsley saga here on the Morning Show with Anthony for quite a while now. We haven't really heard much from Boyd in quite a while. I believe May was the last time he had interacted on social media. Randomly this morning, I wake up and see that he was at the Icon Awards ceremony with the Friars Club last night. The Friars were honoring Billy Crystal, and he took to Instagram to start communicating with people again. And you're going to notice a couple interesting things here, and I've already seen some comments online about this, but to me, it is quite clear. I don't know if drinking or drugs or whatever it is, but he's talking very slowly, and he's slurring his speech. And this is not, I mean, if anybody's a fan of the band knows how Boyd speaks, it's not this slow. So there's a couple of interesting things that I noticed about it. Let's hear from Boyd. Also, mostly I feel like he always communicated on Twitter, a little bit on Instagram. What happened last night was through his Instagram stories. And I know that not a lot of people are on Instagram. Or a lot of people are on Instagram, but I know, not everybody has it. So I have the video. We have the audio here for you guys. This is Boyd last night. I approximate this was about, had to be some point just at the beginning of the night, 7, 8 o'clock at night like that.
Hey, I'm here tonight at an event sponsored by the Friars Club honoring Billy Crystal. Hopefully you guys know who he is. He's from Analyze This. He's from City Slickers. It's great to be here.
I mean, obviously, first impressions right off the bat, he's talking very slowly, slurring his speech. Again, what's causing that, I don't know. But it's clearly something. He's, he doesn't look all that great. It's not the young and vibrant guy that we've seen on stage all these years with the Dave Matthews Band, that's for sure.
And I will show you some highlights as the evening goes on. It's good to see you guys. It's been a while, but I'll be back on more often. Love you.
So that was the first Instagram story there. There's actually 3 stories. He pops on again a little while later. But in the first one, he promises, I'm going to show you some highlights of the evening here with this Billy Crystal event.
I just wanted to say again, I wanted to say that I regret that I wasn't playing with the band this year.
So the second one, which doesn't come that much after the first one, he starts by saying, I just want to say again. And then he realized he hadn't really said this, and he says, I just want to say.
I've enjoyed playing with the band all these years, and I regret it, and I wish I was. And I know that many of you also regret it, and my apologies to you that I wasn't there. But I want you to know that I will be back on stage soon, and I will be in the States and in Canada, and I hope that you look for me, and I hope that you come out to see me. I love you all, and thank you for being friends of mine for all these years.
All right, that's the second story. So I watched this earlier this morning when I first got up, and I started to think to myself, first of all, this is an incredibly sad story to begin with. Anytime, somebody's taken advantage of is horrible. Like I've been saying in the past, if the allegations are true, it's horrible. If the allegations aren't true, it's horrible. It's a horrible story, no matter what. But you hear this thing, and you look at this guy who's sorry that he hasn't been there's something wrong. I'm sorry, and I've seen the comments online already, some early reactions from Dave fans, and people are saying this or that. Look, I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with this guy. There just is. He's obviously heartbroken. He's obviously feels bad or whatever. I don't there's guilt here. I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I am on the radio. So that makes me some sort of an expert, I guess. But you can hear it in his voice. You can hear it by what he's like. Just listen to what he's saying. He's sorry. He wish he was there. Some people wish he was there. And then he talks about getting back on stage, and you can see him in the States and Canada. So I looked at it, and Dave Matthews Band are on a fall tour right now, and they're playing America and Canada. And his side project, Crystal Garden, the musician who accused him of the sexual misconduct was in, they don't have any tour dates. I wouldn't be surprised if he went back out on the road since that musician has left, and the band still goes on, Crystal Garden. I wouldn't be surprised if he came back with Crystal Garden, but they don't have any tour dates planned. They don't have any sort of social media communication with the world, nothing really, since 2017, so almost a year now. A music video was put out not that long ago, but that was it. Why he would say the States and Canada when the band is on the stage, it feels like there's something wrong here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like I don't know who he was with that night, but it just feels like if I'm with him and I'm watching this, I'm going, maybe we shouldn't put this on Instagram. You know, because he's alluding to the fact that it's with the Dave Matthews Band. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Now maybe everything is all good, and I don't know. Maybe they were made up. There's a thing. He's been proven innocent. Maybe that's all going to come to fruition over the next couple of days. It's entirely possible. But when all this kind of stuff happens, and then the first time you see somebody come back and they're slurring their words and they're speaking slowly, and they're talking about, I'm going to be back on stage, and they're talking literally about tour dates from the band that they just got kicked out of. It feels a little strange. You can't help but think that there's something wrong at the basis of all of this. Instagram story number 3, just a short while after that. Now he's no longer in the Billy Crystal event, but he's in the backseat of a car.
Unfortunately, I had to leave the Billy Crystal Icon Award given by the Friars Club. There were a lot of speakers there, a lot of funny people there, and I wish I could have stayed, but I'm not feeling too well. I got a sore throat, and just want to get back to my hotel and take care of that before it gets worse. Hope you guys like my new hairdo. I just got that done. Some blonde tips here and there. But I want to say thank you to all the fans that were waiting for me outside of the theater. It was great to see some DMB fans. It's been a long time, and I miss you guys very much. And I will be on social media again. I'll probably be on this platform because I love it. It's pretty cool. So I'll see you guys again, and I want you to take care, and I hope to see you again on stage. Peace.
And so that's it. You just can't help, whether he did the wrong or not, you can't help but feel for the guy. He's obviously going through a lot. But if he did do these things he's accused of, this is not behavior that it's just not acceptable behavior. And to be on here and you're at this party and you're having a great time, and I'm going to give you the play-by-play the whole night, and then the next time you come back on, you're like, I'm getting back on stage, and then you insinuate with your old band, and then shortly thereafter you're talking about leaving early because you have a sore throat. And by the way, he was talking a little bit faster. He seemed like he was talking a little bit a little bit more normal in the last Instagram story than in the first two. But that wasn't it. After that, because if you're not on Instagram and if you're not actively involved with somebody's page, you really don't know that somebody put out an Instagram story. So shortly after that, a couple of hours, in fact, after he put that on Instagram, he hopped back on Twitter for the first time since May 11th and said, and I quote here, "I hope everyone is well. I'm back. I've missed talking to you all. I left a couple of videos on Instagram. Nothing is more important than holding on to and spreading love, especially now. I send mine to you. Hashtag peace and love." In a second tweet, "One more thing before I go. I'll be back on stage again sooner than later. I'll let you know when. Spread the word. I may have some recordings to share as well. Hashtag music and love." And then finally, "It was great to see all of my and DMB fans waiting outside of the Billy Crystal Honors in New York City tonight. You made my day. Hashtag love." Just seems like this overwhelming desire to have people forget about what's been said about him and what's been happening over the last couple of months. And he's focusing so hardcore on that there were fans there for him, which I'm sure there were people that knew who he was. I don't know if there was Dave Matthews Band fans there specifically waiting for them. Who the hell knows where this guy's been all these months? You know, how would they know he was there last night? So nobody specifically came out for him. There was no announcement that he was going to be there. Certainly not with what's been said about him in the public lately. Nobody would, you know. How he even wound up there to begin with, I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea what his connection is to Billy Crystal or the Friars Club or what. It's very bizarre. And this reiteration of "I'll be back" and "I'm going to be back on stage" and all this stuff. I mean, you know, it's not normal. It's not good. It's not, you know, it's crazy talk. If you're coming back with a band, then say it. I'm going to take Crystal Garden back on the road. No, because if you say I'm going to be back in Canada and the States, you're insinuating the Dave Matthews Band. You want people to put that connection together. Like, it's just, this is not healthy behavior whatsoever. I've been keeping my eye on it since he put it on social, because I would expect somebody to be like, take that down because you don't look good. And it hasn't come down yet. None of it. And the other thing, too, on the flip side of it, again, to play devil's advocate, if everything was okay, if he's proven innocent, if he is coming back to the band, which I don't believe, but if he is this really the way that you want to announce that back to the world? Let's live in this fantasy world for a second where he didn't do anything wrong and the band's taking him back and he's going to join them back on stage on the current tour. Is this the exact way that you'd want to bring that message back to people? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It just seems very, very strange. And we'll keep our eye on it. If he disappears and we don't see him again for a long time, we know that there was very something wrong this evening. If he's back active again, that's going to tell us another side of the story. We'll have to wait and see. This continues to be an ongoing story that I know is devastating for most Dave Matthews Band fans. Hey, what's up? It's Ant. There's a little addendum to this story here, because as I was putting this together and editing it, I realized that, I was kind of struggling to make the point that I see remorse in Boyd. He's obviously sorry for something. You hear him apologize, like, "I'm sorry I missed you on tour, and I'm sorry I missed the band." But is he remorseful for the right thing? Again, this is all alleged what happened to him. We don't really know, the full story. I'm sure we're going to find out soon at some point. But as I was putting this whole thing together, I was just looking at it going, I see remorse from this man. It's just, what is he really sorry for? And again, I stand by what I said. Clearly, this is very abnormal behavior, but I can't help but see somebody who's obviously in a lot of pain and who obviously went through something traumatic and is obviously very, very sorry, appears to be sorry. And, what that is, I don't know. I do know in my very, very limited, bit of like college, psychology classes, that a lot of times people will apologize for random other things when they've done really something wrong. They won't apologize for that particular act. They'll apologize for other stuff. And I feel like that's sort of the behavior that Boyd is exhibiting here. Still very, very sad no matter what. We've been tracking this sad story all year long. If you've been supporting us here on the Morning Show vlog, thanks for that. Hope you guys are subscribed. Hope you keep up to date. We will certainly be following this again. I'm going to keep my eye on Boyd and the whole situation. I'm hoping for the best. I hope he turns out to be okay. But when I look at this Instagram stories, I see somebody that clearly needs help, and I'm not sure in this time that he was supposed to be away getting that help and getting that rest and figuring himself out. I don't know if he's actually been doing the work. It doesn't feel to me like somebody that's been away trying to get better. Just don't see it.